Hello and welcome. I'm not going to say your name yet because I would like you to introduce yourself and to tell us a little bit about yourself. So, hello and welcome, and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. My name is Bilel. I'm from Tunisia, which is a country located in North Africa. And what else? I have a university degree in English for International Relations.
Right. So your profession or your studies are related to English, which helps
Yes.
you. Now, you said you're in the north of Africa. Well, I am living in the north of Africa too, but
Awesome.
I am living next door to Morocco, and you are living further down. So
Okay.
we are not actually neighbors, but we're on the same continent. Right. So welcome, Milak, again. And let's
Thank you.
see. Now, do you remember when you first started to learn English?
Yes. In high school, I started in the seventh grade. Yeah, I
Right.
remember the first time
Right.
I
So
learned
that's
English.
quite late, I think. How old would you be about then in seventh grade to give us an idea? About
In
12, maybe?
seventh grade. Seventh grade, maybe 13 or 14.
13. So it's quite late, really, not too late, but quite late to start learning a language because they say we should start young when we are in maybe infants or primary school. Did you learn another language before you learned English? Maybe French, I'm not sure.
Yes, our second language here is French. Yes, French language. And of course, Tunisian Arabic, our native language.
So at home, you would speak Arabic, and at school, you would do all your studies in French or some of your studies in French.
Some of my studies in French. Yes,
Right, because in
like
some
science, for
countries,
example.
oh, sorry for interrupting, because
Yeah, yeah,
some
go ahead.
people do all the higher level studies in French. So it depends on the country. So you speak Arabic at home, then you would do some subjects in French, and then when you were 13, then you started your journey to learn English. I don't know if you remember if you liked it or not when you first started to learn English, or with an obligation, maybe.
I like it because, it's an international language. It's something that I enjoyed a lot. I'm not good in French language, to be honest with you. So when I found English and found it as an international language, I like it.
But you were a teenager, so I don't think you would have thought about it being an international language. Did you just maybe, what was your teacher like? Do you remember your teacher?
Yes, I remember. He was a man. He made us love the language because of his interaction, classroom, international, no, interaction classes, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
like it, how he introduces the language to us.
That's very important, no? A teacher can either motivate you or destroy you. Depends
Yes.
how they give classes. Now, can you remember a time when you spoke English outside of the classroom?
Outside the classroom. Let me remember. Yes, maybe, when we actually, when I start, at the university, you know, we had the kind of English clubs. We met with
Right.
American students. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was the
So when you were
first
at
time.
university, you started to come into contact with international people or foreign people because of your studies at university. So then you could have conversations. Do you have any memories of that? If you enjoyed it, was it difficult, or maybe it's too long ago?
Well, you know, because of the internet, we used to write in English. You know, we had at that time we had Yahoo Messenger. I met actually from with people from different countries. You know, these Yahoo chats. You know, but in speaking, maybe the first time, but then with the practice, we can you know overcome this fear of speaking the language.
Right. Okay. Of course, many years ago, we didn't have it so easy as now. Things were more limited, so we couldn't have contact with people. Now, do you practice English every day?
Yes, of course,
You
of
practice
course.
English every day. How?
Zoom meetings, you know, I join many Zoom meetings, like for example in Chatbox in our group, Maufin, Masters of English, and actually I'm one of the hosts in Masters of English group. You know,
Right. So wherever it's possible, you try to join meetings to chat to other people. What's your favorite way to practice your English?
favorite way to practice. Having conversations with people from different countries, because you know I like to know about you know people and culture of countries, history of countries. You know, I like a lot, especially things relate to cultural you know exchange. You know.
Mm. I find it interesting. For example, you're talking to somebody about something very normal, and then you realize that you don't do it the same way, and you compare different things. Yesterday, I was talking to a girl who's going to get married, and we compared notes of what she does in her country and what we would do in my country. And it's a little different, no? So just a pleasant conversation, exchanging thoughts or ideas. It's quite rewarding. Now, what goals have you got related to your English language this year or this month? Do you have any goals that what you would like to do?
This year, you mean, or this month?
Yes, or maybe this month, something that you thought, I would like to do this with my English language. I would like to achieve this with my English language.
Mm. My main goal, you know, is to know especially you know using language to know more about cultures, about people from different part of this world. You know, this is the main goal for me. You know,
Right. Communication, contact with people,
exactly,
socializing. Right.
exactly.
Is there anything you think that maybe you would like to improve or feel more confident with?
Maybe how to say, maybe I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't have any idea.
Right. Okay. Just a curiosity. And what are your strengths in English? What do you think you're very good at in English of the skills?
Um,
What comes more natural to you?
maybe speaking, uh, how to say, communicating with people, maybe sometimes grammar, because, you know, I'm a teacher of English, by the way. So,
Ah,
yeah.
right. So you're an English teacher. So
Mm.
maybe you like grammar. There are some teachers that like teaching grammar, no? Everyone has the topic which they like better. So your
Mhm.
strength is talking, communication, and maybe grammar. And maybe not now or in the past, what did you find difficult about learning English?
Wow. I think that English is, for me, as a personal experience, I think that English is easier than other languages, like, for example, French, because with
Mm,
French, I found the difficulties to learn French when I was a kid. So English for me is easier than other languages. I find
right,
it easier as a experience.
right. Talked about your strength and the difficulty. You were saying you don't have any difficulty. Right. So, it's very good that you don't find anything difficult in learning English. So that makes it more enjoyable. Have you ever spoke English on the phone?
Yes, yes. To be honest, I talked to a friend from Turkey. His name is Jafar, and what else? And from time to time, I talk to Tony on phone.
But I mean,
We've
when you're
been
talking on the phone, like an experience, how do you find speaking to someone on the phone in English?
mm, well. The first in the firstly, as the first experience, it was difficult. Especially when I was a kind of beginner, but now it's okay. I can.
You're confident, so you don't have any problems. You
No
just take it
problem.
as
No
it
problem at
comes.
all. No
That's
problem
very
at all.
good because if you don't worry about it and you just think, right, I'll get on with it, no? What was the most difficult thing about learning English?
Um, Maybe speaking, because many people don't want to interact or speak in English, or find it difficult at some point. And we, as usual, when we are beginners, it was difficult to speak the language, especially
Right.
fearing making in fear of making mistakes.
Right. So fear takes over the need to be able to speak. So
Yeah,
people
definitely.
have to get over the fear first. I always wonder why, well, maybe in the past it was different, no? But I always thought people learned a language for communication, so they would expect that they would have to speak. But I understand people just go yes, no, and they don't say anything else. So it makes conversation really difficult, no? Right.
Yes.
And my last question for today, what
Okay.
do you think people should do to better their English?
They don't have to fear making mistakes, because it's a part of progress. By making mistakes, we can we don't have to fear making mistakes. It's important to make mistakes, to improve. How could we improve if we don't make mistakes, especially in
Right.
speaking about this about speaking in general.
Yeah, this is true. And I think now it's people are getting this message across. If you watch the videos on YouTube or you watch anyone who talks about English, we're all on the same page now. We're all saying, don't worry, please just take part. If you make a mistake, don't we still can have a conversation. Nothing has to be perfect. So I think all the people involved in the world of English, we are sending this message to the learners.
Absolutely.
And it's like the new wave of trying to get people to forget about their mistakes, which I find very motivating, that I watch videos in English of other people talking about English, and we're all saying the same thing, saying, come, try, don't worry. Right.
Yeah,
Would you
absolutely.
like to say anything before we finish?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's a great pleasure to be with you and to talk to you.
Ah, you're welcome. Well, we do this little session to show people that there are others here who have done the same journey that they are doing now. And if you can get where you got, they can do the same. So it's like a motivation, and to show people everyone is the same and we can all do it. It just takes a little longer for some, maybe more than for others. No, but we can all do it. So,
Yeah,
Bele, thank you very much for coming and all the best.
thank you so much.